Mr. Jordan
Here.
and Mr. Helgeson.
Here.
And Mr. Maloney and Mr. Jablonski are excused.
Agenda item number 2, announcements and statements from the audience.
I have one.
Go.
You want me to stay? Thank you. Jim Pensel, 5,000 Hero Street in Boston. So just a couple of things. One, I want to commend the Oversight Board and the Police Department for doing a really good job as far as being transparent and forward with your budget. I know there's some questions on the fire department stuff, and I don't think that's happening here, and it's not happening just for a reason. Because we're being really transparent and forward with it. I don't think the fire department is necessarily trying to hide anything, but they're not going on other to be forward about it like we are here. So thank you. And then also, I'm very disappointed that the Village of Weston didn't find this meeting important enough to post it on the agenda on the website or on the building 24 hours prior. So thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank
Jim.
you.
Anybody on Zoom?
Nobody's online.
All right.
So 2 people.
Item number 3, minutes of previous meeting, Oversight Board meeting minutes of July 24th, 2025. Any changes, corrections, amendments that are seen?
No.
Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Zagami, second by Jordan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item number 4, budget to actual. Chief? Or Melanie?
I just have, nothing really new. I gave you guys a bunch of updates last month, but I did fix the insurance, as I said I would, because it's split years, 25 into 26. I took 2026 portion out to be on the books next year. Work comp is still a little blown out of the water, and that's again due to some adjustments that the auditors made from last year. So not sure how that'll end up at the end of the year, but that's what it looks like right now, but to be much lower going into 2026. But that not a part of it. I don't have any other significant findings, Chief.
I don't. Some of the areas, again, look a little bit out of whack, but we're still upgrading equipment and selling equipment, so that comes back in the general, so it kind of looks like that. And so we're running another fundraiser again, so I know that's not on the agenda for this, but we're trying to get to a point to take some of the revenues that we're getting in for donations for the canines to purchase brand new vehicles for them to lighten our purchases on our budget for next year on cars.
Good. Any questions for either Melanie or Chief?
What's the other professional services? That's the one I mentioned last time where the auditors wanted our fee to go there instead of under auditor accounting. So it's gonna look wacky this year, but it's accounted for correctly next year in its accounts.
Interest income's doing really good, so.
It's that would actually end up to be just over 30,000. That'd be like 32,000 at the end of the year.
Any other
The
discussion?
professional services.
Correct.
Got it.
No.
So being new to this game, I see that the revenues are $1.5 million less than what they were forecast or compared to a year ago. Is it just the fact that the intergovernment charges haven't come forward yet? What?
Yeah.
Can you help me understand the timing of that, or?
Yeah, so they're quarterly. So what we do with each of the 4 municipalities, they pay by the quarter. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right, makes sense.
October, it'll be all there.
Yeah, okay, all right.
that'll be the Q4 payment then.
Anybody else?
Catch on that.
And just trying to understand, it looks like we're running way behind, you know?
Oh, that's a quick jump in on this whole thing. That was-
You aren't writing enough tickets.
We are recording. Any other questions? Discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on. Agenda item number 5, discussion and possible action regarding the 2026 budget.
I'm gonna start, Chief, and then fill in. You want us to?
Sure, if Melanie wants to start with it.
There you go.
No,
All right, so focusing on the 2026 column, obviously, your first 2 pages are gonna be general fund. Flip it over, those are gonna be some special revenue funds. One, the DARE's already created. K-9 fund I plan to create by the end of the year to kind of separate that stuff out. But back to the general fund. Right now we have Weston and Rothschild slated at the full 3% that can be asked for. Again, obviously it may not be approved, but we determined that that was kind of needed. We're still kind of running through some of the, I don't know, bigger costs, I guess, with the merge and stuff. So, and then to support the union contract as well. We do have two bigger retirement payouts next year that really kind of hurt us and warranted the 3% as well. The rest we tried to keep pretty status quo, even decreased a little bit in some areas or reallocated them to other funds that made more sense.
Just want to add while you're right there, I think it's real important we took and tried to do a 2.8% increase. And so we went through this and it just wasn't working at 2.8. And with the union contract and everything going on, we just tried to keep it at that 3 for the first year. My goal is to make sure after this first year, we see money coming back and that we have a surplus fund, but because we haven't been together for a whole year, we don't know that. And the goal is not to keep it at 3% every year, it's to reduce it. I sat here and tried to reduce this and it's tough right now. So
Joe, going back to your quarter payments,
Yeah.
you're seeing in the revenue section here why they're different. So if you look at, this is going to be Rothschild's portion, Rothschild and the Village of Weston. That's where the true merger occurred, or at least the new entity formed.
Okay.
Those have a maximum of 3% cap each year to go up or less. The city of Schofield, that's a contractual, so that's going to be a 2% given every single calendar year from 1/1 on. And then the town, it's a 0%, but the town has a little bit of a different approach in terms of municipal court payback.
Okay.
So what you're going to see going into 2027 then is Village of Weston, Village of Rothschild, those can fluctuate again from 0 to 3%, where the city of Schofield and the town, those are always going to be givens. The town will always remain at 115 at this time, and the city of Schofield will always increase by 2% over the previous year.
and one more in there is the school district at 375. They also have a 1% increase every year on there. So we have 5 SROs that are in the school. We get the SROs back in the summertime and the school doesn't deduct any money for that. They just keep paying for the whole year, even though we use them for a lot of zoning stuff for the Village of Weston and Rothschild. And so they're working the road at that time.
I think
This budget doesn't stay constant all the time. It may go up because the standard of living going up continuously. City of Schofield staying constant. When we gonna reevaluate it to see if it's good or
The city,
low, either way, you know.
Do you mean the town staying constant? Schofield going up 2%. The town, yes, the town is the
And-
only one that's at constant 115 right now.
But you keep a greater percentage of citations.
Yes.
yes,
That was the mix of that, yeah.
75,000, I think is the number in that.
So where we get a percentage of our citations back and then that goes back into our general, they don't.
And that's a good thing to touch on the court. Right now, there's over $1 million of uncollected citations in the court. So the merger at the time, the police departments came together, the courts came together at the same time. And there was a lot of backlog of citations that were never collected upon. So those have all been entered in the system now. The last time I checked, I think Heather was somewhere around 2017 yet, or 18, but they went all the way back to 2011 and entered citations that hadn't been collected on. So magically, if there was a huge windfall on citations, that money would come back to the Village of Weston or Rothschild, however the split was, and there could be money coming back in a different way because of the court system.
So you can go all the way back to 2017 or
They have X number of years on each one of those citations.
is that 10 years?
There's a 20.
Yeah, and it depends on ages and stuff like that and what the citation was for and the amount, and they're all in tax intercept. So when people file taxes, we get the money first, depending on where we are in line. Everybody's in line, that enters into that. But last time I checked, it was 1,000,001 or something like that. That's uncollected, that's in the system that nobody tried to collect or didn't do a good job collecting it.
As inherently too will be written off as, collectible because or bad debt because there's gonna be deceased individuals that you're not gonna collect from.
That or it is too old or, yeah.
Which we have already ran into. So each month, the court clerk reconciles and then we sign off on the deceased individuals or ones that we just can't go after.
Pretty good. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we move on to agenda item number 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Something to, yeah. Move forward.
we need a motion.
Can I just, one more question?
That's the final?
Yeah,
All of the items that we talked about at the previous meeting with wages and what's in the agreement, that's all in, right? Okay, that's.
100%.
we need a motion to approve.
We'll make a motion. Have to speak.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Zagami, second by Jordan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
I just want to add, it will be brought again in a more formatted version of the budget within the software to present. Hopefully then we'll also have more individuals here too, so.
Will you be providing them? I can provide it to Jessica, but I didn't know if you were email corresponding then with her, just so you guys are.
Not at this time. Again, this was only a draft that I wanted approved. A more formal workforce version of the budget will be for final approval.
Okay.
Whether it's next month, if it's, it'll probably relatively be the same, obviously.
Jessica got the email too as the packet.
Yeah, so she probably has it,
Okay,
at least the draft, but.
okay.
Okay, so I guess I still have one more question. So the negatives in the general fund expenditures, are those hopeful cost reductions from the combination of the departments coming together, or how do you come up with that?
The percentage decreases that you see,
Yeah,
could be that we allocated the fund to a different fund that needs it more. So it just kind of offset each other.
yeah.
Like, are you referring to, perhaps like building repair and maintenance went down?
Yeah, so accounting and audit fees,
Yep.
utilities are a little less, so how long ago did the departments combine? And when we,
2024.
okay,
For the audit accounting reason, that is solely inherently because our auditors wanted our fiscal agent fee to come out of other professional services. Therefore, you see a huge increase on that line
Okay.
and the decrease is on auditor.
okay.
And some of the other part is we went through each one of these lines and we tried to make sure we're at like a bare bone minimum to really make sure our expenditures are what they should be. And that's why you see some of those decreases in some of those other areas as you get down. One was the canine or dog supplies. We ended up using revenues from that we generated for that line item. So that's why there's a reduction of 100% on that. But last year we weren't able to do this where we didn't know what our expenditures were. And since we have a year's window in there, but not a full calendar year, we really tried to hammer on these to make sure that we're putting our money where we need to and make sure that we're not overspending in areas. So.
Okay, and there's a significant decrease in the gasoline. So is that a reflection of the price coming down or the patrol miles?
Well, when it came together, so when the two departments merged, we thought that's going to come together. Call volume is going to be one way. Gas usage is going to be one way. We found out that like gas usage went down because they're patrolling together. Calls for service went way up, and that's what we just tried to figure is where we're at.
Okay, so you really haven't factored in what you think the price might be.
Well, we feel comfortable with where we are for what our usage is. But I think it was overestimated when we came together because we kind of grabbed those budgets and put them together. And we didn't have that calendar year to really see where those budgets were.
Do you contract for a certain price on fuel for some certain window with a local vendor, or how do you?
We use Quick Trip.
Okay.
And they give us 10 cents off per gallon, plus we get the reduction of the sales tax because we're a government entity. So we've been the guys know that sometimes you have to shop the pump. Sometimes on Kent Street, it might be cheaper. Sometimes on Schofield Avenue. And sometimes when the price goes up, we'll run more cars to the gas station, top them all off. But
Okay.
yeah, so there's usually 4 cars running per shift. And mileage, gas usage has been good. The utility vehicles are better on gas than the Crown Vics used to be. But I think it was over exaggerated a little bit when they came together on that.
Just to add to that, Joe, you, kind of the middle column projected 2025 year end. I have in under fuel 82,515. That's solely me looking at each month, averaging it out and then adding that much more in. And that's what I think we're gonna end up with. And then we plan for 2026 at 110. So we have a buffer there.
All right. Okay,
Okay, very good. Now, moving on to agenda item 6.
But I just want to add one more thing in there. But we knew that the charter says 3%. We knew that. We tried to spend time and try to get it to 2.8, but we just couldn't do that for that little bit of extra. We had to get to that 3% for this year because of that. But we've been cutting on this budget and really looking at things to make sure that we have an accurate budget in here. Do I wish it was 10%? Yeah, absolutely. Everybody does, but we don't have that. So we have to make do with what we have, and that's what we're doing with it. And hopefully, when the 12-month window goes by, we find out that we're doing even better than we thought, right? That's what we always want. More for less is what we're trying to do with it, so.
Your price of a petroleum, I don't think you have much control on it. You can do the best guesstimate. It goes up and down.
I worked here when there was lines at $4 or $5 an hour. I remember those days. I was working that night when people were fighting at the gas pumps here, and how did that happen? I don't know, but hopefully we stay where we're at for a year.
yeah, we won't be there again anytime soon.
Yeah,
Very good. Now, agenda item number 6.
okay.
Discussion and possible action regarding MBMPD building, finalization of drawings and bid documents.
So HTG and Bolt have got us a bunch of information here on the building. We were told from Bolt that this should be all the documents, from my understanding. The last oversight meeting, there was discussion about having oversight members go through. Jason Jablonski was one of them. And so I think we're to that point now that all these documents can be reviewed by oversight. The building, I noticed there was a couple of changes that didn't get put into this document that I have to call on, but they were trivial changes. They weren't structural changes of any kind. So I guess it's documents to look through and see where we're going from here. So.
Well, this doesn't have the spec. It's just a drawing.
I gotta see what you guys all have here. I got a bunch of stuff here that can get forwarded on. You have,
This is just the spec. Not the spec, just the drawings.
do you have the big,
And
okay,
all the notes on the drawings.
Are you looking for the dollar amounts?
No,
Well, there's
Just the
finished,
specifications.
there's finished specifications on page F1.2.
I think there's
that's not much of the spec.
So everything that we have here is what we received from
So that's it,
the Bolt company, yes.
okay.
And these aren't final.
you have this packet?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just got them tonight.
yeah, that's what I mean, I think.
The specs, and what I looked at last night, there were no specs yet, right? So this is much more complete.
Like to have it at least in 11, 17.
Okay,
This is
too small, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, with my glasses on.
Yeah,
that's fine.
need a magnifying glass.
Yep,
Yeah, if you can get that, help a lot.
yeah, no problem.
But you could send it out to,
I can send it via, or Elizabeth can send it out via email as well.
so you can
Figure on there.
make it the,
I can get them on paper. Get them on paper and get them handed out.
Yeah, I would prefer that too.
Okay. And Jason's not here, he hasn't.
I love the fact that we get this stuff via email, but I hate looking at it on my computer when it comes to drawings and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
If you want to write on it and underline it.
Yeah, right. You can't do that on the computer.
Some, but.
Well, at least I'm not smart enough to. I know you can, but it's like,
A lot of times too, though, when I send out the email, I already have the packets already printed and ready. So if, for some reason, if you wanted to, you're always welcome to come by and you can pick up the hard copy.
Okay,
Always. So completely up to you if, I get what you mean, staring at the screen and,
Well, you know,
Yes. yes, yours was
Okay.
different as well.
No
So,
problem.
yes,
And
yes.
And with this today, we're not on necessarily a time crunch to say this has to get approved today.
Correct.
We know that we want you guys to review it and it's going to take some time. This can come up in September or October. We just need to get this to a point where it's ready once we all collectively agree to hand over then to start getting requests for proposals at that point.
Well, he can do whatever he wants to do, even he can vet it. If there is a change in there, he can send the addendum to it, issue addendum for the project and everybody get it and consider it.
Sure.
Except if you accept the bid, then any change we do, that's a change order.
This included quite a few of the changes that were recommended to HTG and Bolt.
Yep.
This is pretty much the final packet.
The only thing
Just
that
about.
is missing in there is we talked about straight parking in that garage.
Right.
And we talked about moving that evidence room back toward the garage a little bit more because of ventilation instead of having it in an occupied part. And that didn't get changed, so I have to call them and I'll see if I can get that, so I can get that printed with the new printing, but
Got it up here, sure.
yeah.
And that would be,
It's not-
that would be close to the final packet.
That would be close on my end. That's the only thing I had that was, and that's not a structural change. It's just painting of lines per se and moving that room, which they did that when I talked to them on the phone, and I don't know why this came out like that, but
Jason already went through this document?
no,
He did not.
this is so, we just made it for this meeting and at least we have a document here finally. And I'll get it printed on bigger paper so that now it's time to review it and
Yeah.
scrutinize it and go through it.
We just received this on Tuesday of
Okay.
this week, so it's pretty new to us as well.
Okay.
So you want to approve it tonight?
No, you don't, just
It's just discussion right now.
discussion right now.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the
do- yeah.
cost estimates, but we don't,
Yeah,
next month we can include that.
Right, okay. Any further discussion for chief?
None.
The only thing I'm gonna tell you on the building is this is a daily conversation in the police department, so.
I'll bet you.
Not rushing anybody, but I'm just saying it's a daily conversation, so.
Right. There's no motion on this for just for discussion purposes. Moving on. Agenda item number 7, discussion and possible action regarding day-to-day operations, including monthly report.
We're working on our quarterly report right now for the end of June. We're a little bit behind. This is the monthly report in here. Everything in the police department status quo. Things are going good. School starting, so the SROs will come off the road and go back to school. We have 2 officers retiring in January. They'll retire on January 2nd. One is Kevin and one is Tom. One officer is returning. He was out of work for 1 year. He'll be back on January 2nd as well. And we continue to try to hire to fill vacancies, so, but everything seems good, so.
There is an article in the municipality magazine regarding the vacancy and possible option, how to, maybe you want to take a look at it.
Read it, yeah.
Did you read it?
No, I saw the magazine. I just didn't get to that, to go through it yet, but.
Any questions for chief?
well, there was a fatal crash in the village recently.
We had the one on Camp Phillips Road at Barbican. Then there was one that just happened out on Highway J, but that was out of our jurisdiction. Marathon County took it. That was a Ford F-150 that left the roadway single occupant, and that person made it home, but the car burned up. I don't know if that's the one.
I was just, I mean, I think fatalities in the village have been rather rare, right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. And we had that car crash on in front of Weston School, which was a multiple rollover crash. trying to think of our crash numbers off the top of my head, and we do have a lot of crashes. The fatalities are low.
Yeah, right.
You said it was out of the jurisdiction, it's Marathon County. I thought all the officers are some kind of authorized to work out of this
Yep.
jurisdiction.
Yeah, so we were there at the crash, but Marathon County wrote the crash because it was on their side of the road on Highway J. But we still go to everything and help them out, but they're the ones that wrote the crash. That was a bad crash, and they thought the person was burned up in there, but they ended up making it home, so. Yeah, it took them 3 hours to.
Very good.
You say he ended up making it home. Did he walk home or did someone?
Somehow,
Oh, okay. I just wasn't clear if
yeah,
you said it that way, like somebody took him home or he.
well, you go to some of these serious crashes and they're really bad, and you think that it's a fatality, and somebody who driving by would have said that's a fatality, but then people make it places. How they get there, sometimes we don't always know that. Not always forthcoming with that. But
Still on the planet.
they're still here.
Okay,
But we have a lot of crashes, and if you look at our calls on here, there's 2,300 calls a month, and that's pretty average on that. So I didn't think when these two departments came together that we'd have 25,000 calls in a year, but that's a lot. You start doing math on that and how much that is per day, and then do it by 24 hours, and it's like, how did we get to that? So.
yeah,
But I grew up here too, and traffic on the roads and population has changed over the last 10 years. And we've talked about that and how many more people there are. And you go on the highway at 5:30 in the morning, like, where's all these people going to? 10 years ago, nobody was going anywhere.
Right.
So,
10 years ago in Camp Phillips, there wasn't much traffic.
no,
oh,
I bike in there. No, I can't. I won't do that.
yeah. We get the question sometimes, why are we running traffic on State Highway 29? That's the state patrol's job. But we still have to take all the crashes on 29, and we go all the way from almost to I-39 all the way out to Highway J. And that's a long stretch. And if you don't enforce roads, then people just continue to drive faster and faster. And that's why we're out there too on top of it. So, but
Makes sense.
any agenda item number 8? Any announcements and statements from the Oversight Board? I'll have one. Mark Maloney and I met with the Mountain Bay Police Department Association, that's the union, yesterday at 10 o'clock to 11. And I can't go into any details, but it went very, very well. I think it will unite in a good collective decision. And they're taking it back to their officers at that point, and then we're gonna bring it back and sit down one more time with them. But we got a lot done during that.
so
It was very
the
good.
decision was made that they would like to negotiate the next 3 years on their union contract. That gets it all the way out to 2030. This is unheard of. This doesn't happen, that people will negotiate a contract early in there. So they're under contract right now, and that they want to negotiate 3 more years on it.
Correct.
The other part of it is there, we found some wordage changes in the current contract, and they're willing to go back and only open up that portion of it to change some of the wording that's been really hard for payroll. And we found out that wasn't working in the contract. So they've been very, very good to deal with to get to this point. So
Very good.
they want to add 3 more years. So for the village, you can take your contract or your budget and figure it out for 5 years down the road roughly, so that it gives you a bigger window in there to look at instead of just year by year. Or when I retire, you have a new chief come in and all of a sudden you're negotiating a union contract, and sometimes those can be very difficult in there. So
And it kind of solidifies it for the new chief that comes in after Jeremy retires. And it gives it more of a solidification of it.
instability for some of the older officers that
Right.
by the time the contract comes due again, they'll be retired already at that point. So
It went very well.
WP.
This will be
WPPA.
only the announcements and statements. Thanks.
Agenda item number 9, Moving on, set date and time for the next meeting. On the third Thursday would be September 18th at 3:15. However, I'm gonna be gone to a conference in Milwaukee, 17th, 18th, and 19th. So at that point, Husheng, you would have to conduct the meeting unless you want to move it to a different date.
Or we could do the 25th.
I think you guys would be better on the 25th because union stuff might be at that point.
Okay. That's fine with me. Is it okay with you?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay, we'll make it 25th September. I think I'll be back from Milwaukee by that time.
Are we still 3:15?
3:15, correct.
Not that you have to change it for me, but could we go 3:30? I just have a prior appointment. Could we just move
Sure.
it back
3:30.
okay,
Okay, do we have a motion? 3:30, correct.
yes, 330.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Motion by Zagami, second by Jordan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are now adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.